everyone, I'm here once again with Tod Bolsinger for another quick conversation for the long haul of leadership. And we're going to look at a quote from Uli Chi today. This is from episode 240, titled Leading with Wisdom from Above. And here's what Uli says. He says, there are times when leaders lead by providing focus and clarity rather than simply taking a vote on everything. I'll read it again. There are times when leaders lead by providing focus and clarity rather than simply taking a vote on everything. So, Tod, you were a Presbyterian pastor. I'm currently a Presbyterian pastor, and we Presbyterians really do vote on everything. And of course, there's value in voting as a team. But what is Uli talking about here when he says that sometimes we need to lead with by providing focus and clarity?
Well, okay, so let's be clear about this part. Uli is, by almost anybody who's ever met him, could be the wisest person they ever meet. Uli could be one of the most respected leaders that nobody's ever heard of. I mean, those of us who've been around him, you meet Uli Chi, you want him to be your mentor. And he is for a number of leaders, and he's remarkable. So if a person as wise as Uli says, hey, there's a time when we might need to give focus and clarity and make a decision, then you'll probably listen to it. The rest of us mere mortals might need to take more votes
That's good.
because we are not as wise as him. Now, his point is a really good one, I think, which is there are times when if all we ever do is lead by what we can get consensus around, then we're never going to make hard decisions. We're never going to make hard calls. One of the hardest parts about adaptive leadership is that you can't get to a win-win, right? And it has to be about the mission. The mission always wins. And so sometimes what the pastor needs to do is give the clarity of focus of saying, we're not going to get to consensus. We've listened hard. We've done a good job. We've cared about this process. Now it's time for us to get really clear on the decision we need to make and then make sure we make it.
Yeah. There's and it may be somewhat personality driven. I'm an Enneagram 9, you're an Enneagram 8. And so a 9 may be more prone to take votes because then it's like, hey, I don't have to make anybody mad. I don't know. You can speak for yourself as far as your personality and votes, but there is a safety in taking votes, right? Well, nobody can blame me if we take a vote on it. And so I was thinking even about recent episodes that you and I did, talking about fear, right? And leading with, what are his words again? Focus and clarity means perhaps overcoming some of our own fear.
Right.
Maybe speak to that a little bit about overcoming our own fear in terms of leading with focus and clarity.
Yeah. So one of the things you said was, as Presbyterians, we take a lot of votes. Well, that's because the way the Presbyterian polity is set up is that the senior pastor's job is not to be the person who dictates. It's that responsibility is given to the session, to the board. And the pastor's job is to lead the session and the board into the discernment to make a decision. So in one sense, the clarity we offer is to make sure that we keep before us the mission. Like I think one of the most important things that we do is I always say we are custodians of and cultivate the mission and hold the mission before the body that has to make the decision. So getting really clear on whose responsibility it is to make a decision and who makes the decision is one of the focuses we can bring. What I wouldn't want people to understand Uli's statement, who happens to be a Presbyterian, as saying, oh, you need to be more dictatorial or more autocratic. I think what he's really talking about is clarity and focus. And a lot of times, wanting to get to consensus, we will muddle stuff up. And
I was just thinking, so I want to affirm what you're saying about Uli. Like when you read his book, The Wise Leader, it is not in any way about here are the things that you need to do in order to be a stronger leader, right? It's here's how to lead. I don't want to say gently, but it could be with gentleness and respect.
Wisely and well,
wisely.
Right?
Yeah.
Really filled with discernment.
Yeah. And so focus and clarity, as you're saying, isn't about saying this is what we need to do necessarily, but could be about just asking the right questions, right?
Yeah.
To get the clarity that the people need.
I'll give you one example. I think many times we don't name the elephant in the room. If we make this decision, it'll make some people mad, and we know we need to make it. If we take this stand, it's going to be hard. We're going to have to face some things. okay, folks, let's be clear about the fact that we're going to take this stand and we're going to make this decision, or we're going to do this thing because we believe that God is leading us to do so. Okay, are you ready? Now you're
That's
taking a vote,
good.
right?
Just stating that
Yeah.
what is true, what
Yeah.
is the case. Yeah, that's good. Anyway, I'll commend people to read Uli's book, The Wise Leader.
Oh,
It really is
please.
a great book. Yeah.
Great.
And here's a quote one more time. He said, "There are times when leaders lead by providing focus and clarity rather than simply taking